Hello, welcome to my basement workshop. I'm Doug. Welcome. So, I just went on a pretty significant little shopping spree, as you can see. And today, within 3 hours of each other, both my bandsaw and my table saw died. This thing quit working completely. I've actually got them both on the same day, and they both fucking died on the same day. Isn't that a trip? I had misspoke earlier. I think I did get this at Home Depot when they first kind of were coming around. I believe, like my first time at Home Depot. It was like right after my birthday, a day or two after my birthday. I had some extra money. And this thing was like 80 or 90 bucks even back then. It's still like $90, $100 now. But back then it was like a lot. That was like $400 or $500 in today's money. At one point, I mean, it's barely been used. It still has the original blade. This is the original frigging blade. At one point, these rubber, they were polyurethane or some kind of plastic. The originals just degraded and crumbled. My buddy Dave goes, check Amazon. Sure enough. So I got a couple more years out of it after replacing the tires. I didn't know that's what they were called, tires. But yeah, there's one on the top, one on the bottom. And they do actually go quite often, and you have to replace them. It was very, very easy. And friggin' Amazon, what don't they have? I swear to God. A fucking roybi bandsaw from 26 years ago. Yeah, we got the tires for that. Okay. So I got a couple extra years out of it. And then this goddamn thing, I'd pull it out of my garage. I haven't used it in like 15 years. It was totally rusty, big old mess, just ridden hard, put away wet. The entire top was just rusted and pitting and a huge mess. Very similar to this. I don't know if you could tell us how the whole top was. I didn't bother with this, but that's pretty much how the whole thing was, you know. And I flipped this sucker upside down and detailed underneath it like it was going for sale. Cleaned it spotless, man. When I was flipping it back over, the plastic on it has degraded to the point where it's brittle and it is just collapsing in on itself. And the entire body of the saw is just drooping down. God damn it. So that's pretty well shot. I'll never get a good cut out of that. I really do not want to have to buy a fucking table saw. I don't really use them that much. The bandsaw, yes. That thing actually is fairly handy. You know, I didn't use it a lot, but there was times where if you just need a small, quick cut, that is super, super convenient. And I would also put that like on the top 5 must-haves for pretty much any shop. It is so easy to use and safe that it is definitely a top 5 tool for a shop. For pretty much anybody, in my opinion. So yeah, the table saw, you know, I can do a lot of stuff. I've been getting by just fine without it. This is another top 5. Now these jigsaws, incredibly safe. You could let a child probably use that, and you can do almost anything that this can do. There's a few things you can't, of course. There has its limitation. But I would rather use this thing any day of the week over this. There's something about this table saw that scares me. And now knowing it's going to fly off of there and be a flying guillotine at any moment makes it even better. And I have no choice. I have to use it too. And I cannot buy a table saw for about 2 weeks because I just bought one more big thing that hasn't come yet. It's a very, very big thing. You know, you'll be seeing that one soon enough. I'll probably be doing videos every day for a month about this one. But so I can't. I'm out of basically out of money until I can save up some more. They had cut my overtime, so I was getting all the overtime I could work. I was allowed to work all the overtime I wanted. So I was doing 120 hours for a good 5 months straight, no days off. And so I was like spending money like crazy, like just buying tools. And they pulled the plug on me just recently, right after I pretty much, between the basement remodel and my little spending spree, I'm gonna have to wait a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, before I can get a table saw. I could probably just get, you know, a crappy one, but I don't want to. I want a good one. I don't want to get a contractor portable. I want a nice cabinet style. But I'm still making cuts with it, and it's fucking scary. I mean, this thing's so scary to use when it's not half collapsed in on itself. But I don't have a planer or a joiner. Those are both fairly expensive, and I came fairly close to picking up the DeWalt 735. Woodworkers will know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's like between $600 and $800. And if you don't know, that smooths out, the jointer smooths out this side, and the planer smooths out the flat side. For thickness dimensioning it, thickness wise, will be a planer. Squaring up the edges would be a joiner. And you can do these, at least the joining, on the table saw, and I was doing that. I was just slicing off the slightest little bit. Super scary, but let me see if I can find it. One moment, please. Alrighty, so if you wanted to really like build something with 2x4s, you know, they come from the store, from the mill or whatever, with this rounded edge on there, and they don't line up all that great, and it doesn't look all that great, and the joint isn't all that strong, and for the most part, usually one 2x4 is not enough for a table leg, especially on a workbench. But as far as even like a regular table, you'll want it at least a 4x4 or a 2x4 and a 1x1 or 1x2, not just a 2x4. So this is terrible. This is the worst video in history. To get rid of this, I think from what I understand, the round edges are so people don't get hurt, cut themselves, scrape, scratch, nick on the edges. So like these edges are brand new from the factory. They're not really rounded, and you see how they're all beat up? It's because they're not rounded. So that's the theory anyway. So a jointer and planer will get rid of that crap, among other things. That's one thing that they do. And the idea is, so I did run these through the table saw to try and plane or join them. I don't know what the proper terminology is, but let me see here if I can show you one-handed what I'm talking about, what I'm laying down, if you can pick it up. So here you can see, if I could just get it lined up right, how much tighter and nicer that is of a joint with the round stuff gone. So that's the idea with a joiner, what a joiner does. And it doesn't seem very significant, but it's pretty important. And I don't have one and I want one, but that's gonna have to wait now for a long time. Won't be getting that till next Christmas. As far as a bandsaw goes, it's a must-have. The bandsaw, I can actually maybe get away with a $100 cheapie, a little cheap bench top, just till I can save up for a decent one. That I can probably get away with, but I don't want to do that with a table saw. I don't want to buy like a $200-300 table saw, because that's about the starting price. I don't generally see them under $300, hardly ever. Even Harbor Freight, they're more than $300. So yeah, I'm excited. Got my basement half done. I could start working on projects. And I emptied out my bank account on materials and toys, and my table saw and bandsaw broke on the day. The day I start my project, they both died. And oddly enough, yep, I bought them on the same day and they died on the same day. I don't know, I may take this one to work and see if the electricians can amp up the motor or something. I don't know. But anyway, speaking of work, double shift Doug. So yeah, they told me I'm working too many double shifts. And then 6 hours later, asked me if I could work a double shift on my day off. It's like, I don't get it. I do not get it. But anyway, we'll see you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.